What if the disappearance of one of the 90s most beloved snacks wasn't just about decline in sales, but something much more? What if behind the frosting and fun, there was a secret recipe change and a vanishing act that turned into an underground obsession? And what if its return years later wasn't just a comeback, but part of a carefully crafted illusion? Welcome to Brandstalgia, a channel that covers the history of nostalgic brands and the controversies that surround them. Today we are peeling back the tinfoil on the discontinuation and resurrection of everyone's favorite sugar-laced snack, Dunkaroos.
Dunkaroos is the cookie you dunk for as much frosting as you want.
Dunkaroos burst onto the scene in 1992, spearheaded by Betty Crocker, a brand synonymous with baked goods, and General Mills, the corporate giant behind the likes of Pillsbury, Green Giant, and Yoplait. Inspired by the trend of snacks that doubled as an experience, the company blended the best of cookies and frosting into one playful, dunkable delight. The cookies came in a few different flavors: classic vanilla, rich chocolate, and the fan favorite cinnamon graham. But the real magic? The frosting. You had chocolate and of course the iconic vanilla with rainbow sprinkle frosting. Originally, Dunkaroos featured 5 different shapes of cookies, including a circle with an uppercase D in the center, kangaroo feet, a hot air balloon, and a mascot in many different poses. But over time, these were streamlined into simpler cookie designs. Currently, just the uppercase D is on the cookies. Thus, the concept of Dunkaroos was born, a snack that just wasn't a treat, but also an activity. And oh boy, kids were hooked.
Dunkaroos, Dunkaroos, you don't just eat your Dunkaroos.
The jingle practically sang its way into the hearts of an entire generation. But Dunkaroos wasn't just a snack, it was a cultural phenomenon. Ads featuring the kangaroo mascot known as Sydney painted a picture of fun, freedom, and endless frosting possibilities. Along with his Aussie charm, what sugar-addicted kid could resist? In 1996, a contest known as Dunkaroos Kangaroo Kangahoo Search led to the introduction of a new sportier mascot, Duncan the Duncan Daredevil. So what made Dunkaroos so special? It wasn't just the sugar high, it was the sense of ownership and creativity the product gave to its young consumer. For many kids, there was a strategy in how you ate them. Some dunked generously, while others rationed their frosting into the very last cookie. And yeah, that was me. Lunchbox trading soared, with kids swapping crusty PB&Js just to get their hands on those coveted cookie packs. By the late 1990s, Dunkaroos faced a not-so-sweet problem, though. As parents and health advocates began to scrutinize sugary snacks, Dunkaroos landed in the crosshairs. With over 13 grams of sugar in a single pack, the snack became the poster child for what critics called
the junk food epidemic.
Meanwhile, the American Heart Association stressed kids between 2 and 18 should only have less than 25 grams of sugar per day. That's less than 2 packs of Dunkaroos. Just turn the other way, soda and juice companies pretend they don't see you and your obscene amounts of sugar. General Mills, feeling the heat, had to rethink its approach. But there was another twist. Rumors started circulating about the changes to the frosting recipe. Some fans claimed that it tastes less rich and more artificial. Was it a move to appease the health-conscious masses, or was the company cutting costs? But the problem didn't stop there. The snack aisle was becoming more competitive, with new healthier options and trendier products like fruit snacks and granola bars taking over. And let's be honest, those really aren't that healthy. Dunkaroos, once a staple of lunchboxes, suddenly started feeling outdated. Whatever the reason, nostalgia wasn't enough to save Dunkaroos from its gradual slide into obscurity. Ultimately, the US seen a cultural shift in how we think about snacks, childhood, and health. And Dunkaroos found itself right in the middle of that storm. By the early 2000s, Dunkaroos began disappearing from US shelves and ultimately discontinued in the US by 2012. It was a slow fade. Sales were slipping as parents and health experts cracked down on the sugary snacks, labeling them as junk food. General Mills quietly ceased their domestic distribution, blaming declining sales. While Americans mourned the loss of Dunkaroos, Australia not only kept them, they even had a chocolate hazelnut and strawberry version of the 90s classic. Then in Canada, Dunkaroos became a major headache for General Mills. Canada's branches pledged in 2014 to limit kids' ads to only healthy products that fell within healthy guidelines. Dunkaroos advertising was completely cut, but by then they hadn't even marketed the snack for nearly a decade. Interestingly, the product continued to thrive in Canada, where it maintained a small but loyal fan base. But for the US customers, this led to the rise of the snack black market. People would cross the border to Canada or pay inflated prices online just to get their Dunkaroos fix. In a twist aimed at adults, in 2016, General Mills launched the Smugglaroos campaign. General Mills launched a site where Canadians could volunteer to smuggle Dunkaroos to deprived Americans in need of the sugary fix. Ultimately, they continued to be sold in Canada until 2018. The snack's mystique only grew during its absence, cementing it as a nostalgic treasure. To the point, even Walmart's bakery section rolled out their own bootleg version of the snack, and yeah, it sold out fast. And then, in 2020, a glimmer of hope. The company received approximately 4 tweets per hour requesting Dunkaroos come back. Riding on a wave of 90s nostalgia and social media buzz, they relaunched the snack with its original recipe, marketing it directly to millennials who had grown up eating the iconic snack. General Mills listened and did their homework. They found out consumers cherished Dunkaroos as an excuse to eat frosting straight, so they switched to round cookies that were easier to dunk. Dunkaroos returned to the US shelves in summer 2020, starting with a limited edition run in 7-Eleven stores and then expanding to other retailers like Walmart, Target, and Kroger. Initially, they brought back the vanilla with rainbow sprinkles, followed later by the return of the chocolate frosting version. They also released a new Cinnamon Toast Crunch version with vanilla cookies and a cinnamon sugar frosting. Then, in early 2025, General Mills brought out a cinnamon graham cookie edition reminiscent of the original 1990s favorite. The product's appeal today relies almost entirely on nostalgia rather than widespread demand. And they didn't stop there. Dunkaroos cereal, frosting tubs, sugar cookies, even Dunkaroos Go-Gurt hit the shelves in an attempt to capitalize on the brand's renewed trending nostalgia. For our, of-age viewers, there's even a Dunkaroos-inspired beer called Dunkaroos, made by the Martin House Brewing Company in Texas. But with Dunkaroos' return, the new question emerged. Could Dunkaroos reclaim its former glory, or is it destined to remain a nostalgic relic? Let us know in the comments below what nostalgic brand you would like me to cover next.